What is going on, everybody? I am back today to talk about the most recent installment in the Hell House LLC franchise before Cognetti releases his newest film, Lineage, Hell House LLC Origins, the Carmichael Manor. This is the fourth installment in the Hell House LLC franchise, and I actually had a review for that go up initially when the film came out, but I wanted to do a re-review because I'm rewatching this entire franchise to prepare myself for the release of Lineage. And I've seen the first movie so many times, but I've only watched this one a couple of times. So I was curious. It's been a little while since I've seen it, so I was curious if my perception would be the same as my initial viewing experience. And as I've said before, I love this franchise. It was really fun for me watching the second and third ones again because I hadn't seen those since I initially watched them. I've only really revisited this one and the initial one multiple times. And so I'm excited to talk to you about this movie today. Hell House LLC Origins, The Carmichael Manor is directed by Stephen Cognetti. A group of cold case investigators stay at the Carmichael Manor, site of the grisly and unsolved murders of the Carmichael family back in the 80s. After 4 nights, the group was never heard from again. What is discovered on their footage is even more disturbing than anything found on the Hell House tapes. So I was super excited to watch this movie. Like I said, I've seen it a couple of times. I loved it the first time that I watched it and in the subsequent revisits. So I was curious with a little bit of time passing how this one was going to sit with me, and I adored this movie. I think this parallels the first film, might even be a little better than the first film in moments. It is genuinely horrifying. I think it's everything that Cognetti has learned as a filmmaker throughout his time making these movies and kind of giving you his all in one movie. Like, this thing has some of the most horrific scenes that I've ever watched in a found footage movie. It still makes me feel sick when I watch it, like super uncomfortable. I feel like the diving into the lore of the Carmichael family and the way that they relate to the Abaddon Hotel is absolutely fascinating, and I'm excited to tell you a little bit about it today. So in the Carmichael Manor, we're getting these talking head interviews with these people discussing Margot and Rebecca, a couple who was going to investigate the Carmichael Manor. Margot runs a sleuthing website online where she does all these cold case files and works on these different true crime things, and she's fascinated with going and visiting this place. And her girlfriend works in real estate, and the two of them are traveling together so that she doesn't have to do that alone and so they can spend some time together. But it's clear Rebecca supports Margot because it's her girlfriend, it's her hobby, and she wants her to succeed in that. And we learned really early on from the talking head interviews, they went there and they disappeared. They were never heard from again. And so we're assuming something awful has happened in that place, and they say we're going to watch all this footage that they took and see what happened. Well, while they're there, Margot's brother Chase comes to help, and Chase has dealt with bouts of psychosis in his life where he sees things. He's been on and off of medication. The family doesn't really see him as completely and totally reliable, but she seems to very much love her brother and wants to be a part of his life. And so he shows up there. And at first it's like, wow, this is a beautiful home. Obviously some terrible, horrible things happened there where a family was completely and totally murdered. So they know all of those things, but they're like, wow, it's like we're staying in this luxury manor in the middle of nowhere, until things start blowing up out of control as they do in this movie. And it's all about this group of characters experiencing these very strange occurrences over the course of 5 nights. So, like I said, I love this movie. I think this thing parallels the original with how incredible that it is. There are so many moments in this that genuinely frightened me that even rewatching it this time, I still felt the same level of fear that I did the initial time that I watched the movie. And I do want to talk about all of the positives here. The performances in this might be the best Cognetti has gotten out of his actors. All of them are incredibly believable. The chemistry between the actors is fantastic. I felt very much for the characters, even though Margot makes some really stupid decisions, and sometimes you're so obsessed with this, you just need to pull away and like get out. But I loved that, like, they built this chemistry up between these characters, especially like Chase's character too, and Rebecca. Like, Rebecca just wants what's best for her girlfriend, but like she gets to a point where she's kind of sent over the edge, and Chase like dealing with all these problems in his life, but he seems to be on the right track, and then like seeing these crazy things happen around him, and he's just like, why are you not getting yourself out of this circumstance? You're just going to get yourself into trouble. I loved that. I felt like there were so many great moments of character building throughout this that are some of the best in Cognetti's whole four filmography in the Hell House series. Love the way this one is shot. It's found footage, obviously a lot of handheld camera, but this setting has a ton of personality. And you know, we've spent the first three films in the Abaddon Hotel, which is really cool. We have a very distinct idea of how that place feels and operates. And so it's really cool to kind of get a shift in scenery to learn about something else and to kind of experience that firsthand. And I really feel like the way they utilize this place, that, like, you know, they're kind of overwhelmed by how beautiful it is, but these heinous acts have occurred there, and you're getting sort of these visuals and like remembrances of these terrible things that happen, sort of reminiscent of something like The Shining, where it's like the after effects and the ghosts sort of lingering through this place and all the years of history that exist in it. And that's what I love about this. It's like remembering things that happen through the firsthand perspective of these people that are just like, what the hell is going on? And that's always a fun thing to watch. There are so many moments similar to the first Hell House where it's not about jump scares. It's very much about you as an audience member watching something horrific occur on screen. There's one scene where Chase is walking through a hallway and he like stares at the end, and you see a hand come out around the hallway, and this entity just kind of comes out into the hallway, and the camera doesn't move. You just have to sit there and watch it, and it just sends chills up your spine wondering what's going to happen next. And there is one scene in this movie that does the jump scare thing, but I think it's effective. I've seen some people complain about it, but I actually really like it. I thought the way it was incorporated was genuinely unsettling, and I really liked it a lot. But overall, the scares in this movie very similar to the first film, and how it's just building up that tension. And there's really great use of music and sound design, very similarly to the other films in the Hell House franchise, which also make it a very immersive experience. And I really like the lore that they build onto this one. Obviously, this Carmichael family and how they are attached to the Abaddon Hotel, and the things that you learn as the film progresses on. There's a period in time where they go to this antique store where they find a bunch of stuff from the Abaddon after it's burnt down. And I think that that was such a cool incorporation into the series. It was a lot of fun to watch. And I really think it added even more to the mythos of this whole thing that Cognetti has built through this series of four films. And I just had a blast with this movie. I think it's exactly what you want in a found footage film. It's genuinely horrifying. It has great character building, and it's an hour and a half long, and it just breezes by. I feel like you blink and it's over. And I was like, I finished it and I was like, man, I really just kind of want to sit down and watch this again immediately. That's how good it is. And I think that if you watch this movie and you're a fan of found footage, you will find something to love about it. And it really got me excited for Lineage. I'm a little bit nervous that it's not a found footage movie, but I have faith with how much Cognetti loves this material that he's going to do something truly special with it. So have you seen Hell House Origins, the Carmichael Manor? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was very entertaining. I loved it. I've seen it a couple of times now, and I'm already excited to watch it again. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.